The email arrived just as the rain started, not a gentle drizzle, but a sudden, violent downpour, lashing against the window pane. It brought with it news that felt like a punch to the gut, a project I'd poured months into, abruptly canceled. My initial reaction was a familiar wave of frustration, then despair, threatening to pull me under. The world outside the window seemed to mirror the tempest within. In moments like these, it's easy to feel utterly adrift, to let external events dictate our internal landscape. We cling to outcomes, to expectations, and when they shatter, so too can our sense of stability. But what if there was another way? What if the true anchor against life's storms wasn't found in controlling the unpredictable winds, but in cultivating an unshakable fortress within ourselves? This is the profound journey we embark upon today, understanding how to cultivate inner strength, realizing that true power emanates not from external circumstances, but from the wellspring within us. We'll explore an ancient philosophy, Stoicism, not as a rigid dogma, but as a compassionate guide for training the soul to withstand loss, navigate immense pressure, and resist insidious temptation. It's about aligning our deepest self with nature and reason, building a resilience that doesn't just endure, but truly thrives. Imagine for a moment the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius writing his personal reflections, the Meditations, not from a serene villa, but from military campaigns, burdened by the weight of an empire, illness, and the treachery of men. Yet his words radiate a calm resolve, a deep understanding of human nature, and the ephemeral quality of external events. He was a man who understood that while he couldn't control the barbarians at the gates, he absolutely could control his judgment about them, his reaction to their threats, and his commitment to his duty. This, at its core, is the Stoic insight, the profound realization of the dichotomy of control. Some things are within our control: our thoughts, our judgments, our desires, our actions, our character. Most other things are not: the weather, other people's opinions, market fluctuations, illness, death, canceled projects. The path to inner strength lies in diligently discerning between these two categories and focusing our energy, our very life force, solely on what is truly ours to command. When we face loss, whether it's a career setback, a relationship ending, or the passing of a loved one, the natural human tendency is to rail against it, to lament, "Why me?" Stoicism doesn't ask us to be emotionless, but to acknowledge the pain while simultaneously recognizing that the event itself is outside our control. What we can control is how we interpret it, how we respond to it, and how we choose to move forward. It teaches us a radical acceptance, not as resignation, but as a freeing embrace of reality. Amor fati, the love of fate, becomes the practice of welcoming everything that happens, not just the pleasant things, as raw material for our growth and a test of our character. Consider the immense pressure of modern life, the constant demands of work, family, social media, the relentless pursuit of more. It can feel like being caught in a swirling vortex. A Stoic trains their soul to withstand this pressure by stepping back, creating a mental distance. They practice premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversities. It's not about dwelling on negativity, but rather a mental rehearsal. By calmly considering what could go wrong, the worst-case scenario, we diminish its power over us. We realize that often the imagined future is far more daunting than the reality, and that even in difficult circumstances, our inner freedom, our capacity for rational thought and virtuous action remains inviolable. This practice empowers us to meet challenges not with panic, but with a prepared mind, an inner fortress ready for anything. And what of temptation? The allure of instant gratification, the pull of comfort over discipline, the urge to compromise our principles for fleeting gain. These are the insidious forces that erode our inner strength, often without us even realizing it. Stoicism offers a powerful antidote, the relentless pursuit of virtue. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are not just abstract ideals, they are the guiding stars that illuminate our path. When faced with a choice, a Stoic asks, what is the wise thing to do here? What is the courageous choice? What is fair and just? What demonstrates self-control? By aligning our actions with these virtues, we build a robust inner compass that steers us away from temptation and towards true flourishing, a life lived with integrity and purpose. This journey of cultivating inner strength is not a destination, but a continuous practice. It requires consistent self-reflection, a willingness to examine our thoughts, to challenge our assumptions, and to refine our responses to life's inevitable ups and downs. It's about building a sturdy internal framework, not to avoid feeling, but to allow us to feel deeply, to experience joy and sorrow without being capsized by either. It's about remembering, as Epictetus taught, that it is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. When the rain finally stopped that day, and the news of the canceled project had sunk in, I felt a shift. The initial punch to the gut hadn't disappeared, but its power had diminished. I could still feel the disappointment, but it was no longer consuming. I found myself thinking, okay, this happened. What is within my control now? How can I respond with wisdom and courage? What lesson can I draw from this? The tempest outside had passed, and the one within had begun to recede, leaving behind a calm, clear resolve. True strength, then, is not about never falling, but about knowing how to stand firm in the face of the fall. It's about recognizing that while the world may present us with endless challenges, the ultimate power to shape our experience, to nurture our peace, and to define our character rests entirely within us. It's about mastering our unshakable self. As you navigate your own storms and sunshine, I invite you to reflect on these ideas. Where can you practice the dichotomy of control in your life? What external pressures can you mentally rehearse? What temptations can you resist by choosing virtue? If this journey resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share in the comments below, or simply take a moment to reflect on what inner strength means to you. If you found value in this exploration, consider subscribing or following for more reflections on cultivating a life of purpose and resilience. Until next time, may your inner fortitude be your constant guide.